Orizixis Tahnur Vabi Zihlel Leoahweeb Nimbanlizit Ease Lil Zu. And what are your impressions of that chant?
I automatically picked up the daylight cuts into the dark, but the dark regrets the light.
And so the winter solstice is 7:27 p.m. Pacific time, Thursday, the 21st of December, 2023. And we have in that chant, let me see, we have the word for fire. Don't know what Tahnar is or Tahnar is at this point. Vabi's blood. The center or internal, and beast of some sort. And I guess I could okay. So T would be 8, H would be 6, N would be 10, U would be 4, and R would be 5 if you want to give those numbers.
Okay.
Zo is positive. And of course, so the sunset nearest to 7:27 p.m. Pacific time would start Yule. And some say it's the night, some say it's the quarter of the year, some say it's 12 nights or 5 or whatever. You know, that's where we get our 12 days of Christmas from, is that Yule would be a month like that.
And it's not just the 12 Days of Christmas song.
Okay.
She usually
Leo Ehweeb, I posted elsewhere the 12 Days of Christmas song. Yes, that's where it's coming from, but then again, that song actually comes from a Jewish hymn.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And so Le Ehweeb, that was disc. Dippin Litzit, is that elbow? Okay, no, that's extremity or border. So we have the Litzit is the extremity or the border. And ease, okay, ease is negative. Leal is either the moon or black. And okay, I said Zo is positive. So the next, the verses that I decided to go with this, from the Quran, we have 142 to 177 and 190 to 195. Chapter 5, verse 21, 17, verse 1, 21, verse 71, 34, 17. And we have Genesis 21, 33 and 34, 26, 1, 8, 14, and 18, Exodus 23, 3, Leviticus 25, 3, Jeremiah 47, 1, Zechariah 2, 16, Joel 3, 4, Ezekiel 16, 57, Psalm 108, verse 9 and 60, verse 8, Matthew 8, 10 to 22, 11, 20 to 22, 17, 1 to 13, 21, 42 to 44, Luke 13, 26 to 30, 21, 24, and Acts 1 to 8, and Romans 11, 25 to 27. as we see here, we see the Satanas Sangre para Satanas, or blood for Satan sigil. You can throw in some other stuff, but this is, I think of that as the tail. So the body with the tail, or the body of descent. And we got the water element, and that works very well, throwing in a Tiamat theme in the whole thing. And 666 is, of course, the cameo of the square, so a solar symbol. And we have that in three. The double circle is the moon, right? And an extra thing, so we have basically the three created beings sort of thing. So the fire beings is obviously the ones that we're going to name. The Scorpion King, that is the 14th name there. It's the lower one. So the Scorpion people, it's more of a role for people, and then you got the clay beings and the light beings, you could say, are represented by the circle there.
It's interesting you mentioned the 3 fire beings as a type of meditation I was doing just a day or two ago. In a flame, I saw this symbol right here, and noticed that there's 3 points or dots on the outside of the circle, and the other 6 or there's 6 on the outside, and 3 on the inside of the circle. So
I don't remember the exact lettering, but in Robert Graves' the White Goddess, they talk about the secret of the menorah, because you got a 9-pointed thing in the background there. So there was the 7-letter name, the 8-letter name, and the 9-letter name, and that's sort of represented by that, but most people kind of don't get that that's,
Yeah. This has been used quite a bit.
And we have the so this is a subdivision of Satanic Front now officially, and I don't have a separate chant for the whole order, but it kind of works in well with the whole thing. So Orizixis husband Bobby Zim Zulis Zah Riorah Lam Ozirah Tavmerks Vumgvb Zepti. And your impressions of that, Ori?
That which does not kill us makes us stronger. It comes back into my mind. It's like I always say, why a person has a choice as far as they, it's not a person's fault if they are victimized, but however, the choice is, they can stay a victim by their own choosing, or they can choose to be a survivor type. I pick the latter.
It's like one of the things that I planned. I don't know my signal is going to let me watch the videos to shoot the other video, but my tarot card. My last tarot card was the Wool, the world, the universe. So the last one I released was the program on that, with the cat and all that.
Yeah.
But the cat's it's really a sigil. But and anyway, is the so I don't know what my point with that was, but oh yeah, the trauma basically is that okay. Either you can use the past, or it was directed towards that in the first place. So
there's a reason for everything.
And no, by that claim, I'm not saying Macaulay Culkin came close as far as we know. He came close. Some people broke in his home when he was a kid, and some rather famous rich people, by the way, I ended up breaking into his home. But and of course, Michael Jackson disturbs people in different ways, and that's what he's there. But he was the friend of Macaulay Culkin, and that fits in with the whole all that. But I'll talk more about that there. But my point was just in the using what is towards that. So the last word there, zipti, it's the edge, it's the terms, it's transcendence.
Yeah.
The time, the limited. On the other corner, on the other side. So again, we have the word for fire. And husbandbum, something, companions or something that I expect. Yeah. Companions, friends, familiars. Or familiars, probably a better word. Vabi, blood again. Zumzum is winter. And I thought for this subdivision, that was my impression, is that wait to do winter solstice thing. And I've shown you before, but I'm going to bring it up again. We have the stargates of the Nikala. Now, I don't know where it is or what it is. Once I find it, someone help me out. A 600 letter passage. I think there's something to do with that, but there were symbols. It relates to the three gates, the Charon, the Rhea, the Io, related to Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And so so I call them the stargates of the Nikala. So was it 2020? I think it was the first time I started to encounter that. So it's like every winter solstice ritual, it's like there's a gate that opens in the sky towards those moons. And some weird stuff goes on in there, but so it's not exactly a stargate, it's a planet gate, but same sort of experience.
Right.
And I think it's subtler or not on the same frequency because it's closer. Because a stargate is something further away.
I'm trying to recall which month it was that I first saw Source. Well, it's what I call Source. There was 3 realms outside of Earth and even outside of this galaxy. And Source, what I saw was, it was huge. It was bigger than all galaxies. There was 3 blocks.
Well, the way I see it too is that our material world, the soul or spirit or whatever you want to call it, or maybe it's both or whatever, of the humans, of the animals, the plants, all that, it's like that's a whole separate realm almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have that experience. It's like when I was 18, I had an experience on Multnomah Falls, and it was like I knew I had a soul. I believed it, probably never stopped believing it. But the I knew I had a soul, and I was I was the soul basically, and it was operating the body and all that other stuff. And it's just different when you have it. And every so often, it's like myself as my higher self per se as an orange alien sort of creature, and or a star or something like this. I've seen myself since.
Awesome.
But it's kind of beyond imagination. I shared, I'm not sure what I shared. My recent path working that I think I have 2 more sessions. It may not be 2 more sessions, but I think I would have finished it by now. I just haven't been up to things, so I got to figure out. I want to do my ritual outside if the weather is clear, but it's going to be cold. So I'm trying to figure out how in my state I'm going to be able to, because I'm not sure how, for all I know, this could be 2 hours, and I'm not sure I can hold 2 hours of in the thing. But so Zoli's is water. So the triangle pointing down typically is a symbol for water. And Za would that would be darkness, right? Riora is the devil, Lum is hell, Azira is opponent or adversary. Tavmerks, I'm not entirely okay. What is okay? I have Evemerks, so XZ Evemerks. I don't know what Tavmerks is at the moment. Vumgubub. Okay, so I have 2 words left to say. Remember the other year? I'm going to put it in front of the camera. I'm not sure if I'm going to show up. Okay, my friend Death. I don't know how long ago. It was years ago. Gave me a what she called the Samhain wand, and the Samhain wand was I don't know, something carved. I guess she carved a stick and glued a shoelace around it with a crystal, with a quartz crystal. So that's my Samhain wand. And okay, I've got, and my other things, I have my bear ring. You know, it has a bear claw, and I guess it has a couple furry hind feet that aren't quite as claws. I have 2 4-sided about stones. One's an agate bloodstone, and the other's I don't know, citrine or something. I have a point that is snowflake obsidian, and I have my tetragrammaton. You know, the one that you say Solazur Abdia Haliza Bellator Belloni Hali Hurrah, but it doesn't have those words. And I have, you know, I feel like this. I saved my little snail shell, so so it would, you know, I'll bring that back to the Samhain stuff.
Okay.
So I got my stones there. I still don't have.
It was a perfect little snail shell too. Almost perfect.
Yeah, I haven't seen that good of a snail shell as an adult.
Right.
Okay, I'm still not getting the thing, and you can throw in any particular thing as I'm thinking through it. We got the colors, and so the colors of the season. Okay, Tov marks would be material, undescribable, difficult. Oh, okay, there's some other meaning for it. I'm not sure. And okay, that would be endings or disassociation. So onto the chant that I got there, but I'm going to leave this one for here. And
are quite powerful, I've noticed. the chants are very powerful. We'll leave that at that.
Supernal mother of the storm-tossed sea, and vaster deep space beyond, Eldris who has sought over this world and the dead since the cosmic battle in which Kingu, unskilled labor, Bashmu, Ushungalu, Mushmatsu, exalted snake, Mushu Shu Lachmu Ugalu Uredemu Umudabrutu Ululu Lahamu Usariku Angirtamulu people are Angrabuamalu were formed towards revenging the dead and establishing the Ank's tablet's destiny. Having said her riddle, she curls around with Lawitan and Bahumut in its essence to rise and descend from the crystalline cave for eternity. The portals are open for the throngs of Pleshton to choose beyond the separation of fear and death, to commune beyond sleep for the restoration of unity with fire, night, and clay. There shall be no price to pay for you and me, for the conditions at hand of the past. There is for the conditions at hand of the past. To pay for you and me, for the conditions at hand and of the past. Ask no other than theirs by day. There is the becoming of and being gray. Will shine in a different way. By numbers and signs, we won't fail to guess and enact what you say. Burning away, we of Chmush do not dismay. Prior to their groups and interpretations is for each to strengthen and be upon what you yourself says. Heroic actions and attributes bring the changes. Label it as what they may. The illusion falls for the transformed in the mysterious current of the cyclic towards a linear eternity of transcendent nobility. And I scrambled that up a little bit, but you know. What are your thoughts?
As you were just talking, 8 points. What this means, I feel like later on it'll be, how do you say it, revealed, to me that 8 points, like everything begins at, a point, a fire point, the starting of a journey, seeing within a clear circle, one can find eternity. I may very well take this. I can remove these little things off my wand as I please. So this will definitely, I feel, I will remove this for the right. And I will be looking into that. And,
well, you can't quite see, but you can say that the 14 are there. And you know something about okay, what is the age of Gemini? Let me see. Okay, so 64 480 to 4320 BCE is what's showing up here. And we have this round. So I constructed it a little bit. So we start in the age of Gemini. So Kingu is Gemini. Bashmu is what? Cancer. And interestingly enough, okay, the one that is sort of a combination here at the bottom here, which is Horus to end the sequence, was one of the more difficult ones. So we have Gud, Alim, but we combined that a bit. So we had Gud, Dumu, Alim, Ana. Yeah, I think that's okay. Ana. Oh, Ana. Okay. Gud, Dumu, Alim, Ana is the version of Taurus that we're looking at. So it's not quite a bull, just like just like before that on the other side, but we're rotating things. So we're not having it at we've rotated it from the original myth. So it doesn't start in Gemini. We're having things the current age. So the one that's just to the left when you're rotating clockwise, that is the Kingu one. And so there were some other things. So, because 12 children, most myths are going to list either Kingu and a couple of the others, or they're going to list the 11, but they're not going to list all of them. So what needed to be done is to distinguish some of the other, because so we have, before that, we have Lahamu. Lahamu would be the Aries, Aries. So, that would be a female. That's in the Crowley Thoth deck, that Queen of Discs is sort of somebody sitting, sitting in a thicket and amongst the brush and all that sort of stuff, something like that. I'm jumbling a little bit here. Okay. And then before that, of course, Kululu is Pisces, Fishman. Umu de Brutu, fierce violent storms, that would be Aquarius. Uradimu would be Capricorn. Crazy dog, mad lion, so that's what it comes out to. And we have Ugalu is the big weather beast, and that would be, I guess, the animals that you go hunt because they survive in the winter and they're still out and all that stuff. And of course, obviously the buffalo and all that are slower, so you might want to kill a buffalo midwinter. Brave things, I don't know. Not legally nowadays, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Lachmu, the December one, so Sagittarius, and so Lachmu is Scorpio. And Krampus is a big hairy beast. So the hairy one being in that position, it's the same thing, more or less. Shushu, the red furious serpent. Things don't line up exact, so that would be Libra. Because, in most cultures, Gemini is actually, instead of twins, Gemini is either one hero, but it's more likely to be a woman up there in the sky. So things definitely change quite a bit. And
interesting how they took the astrology symbols even and made them into something that originally they wasn't.
Yeah, but well, this is much older than the Greek stuff. Mushmachu is the exalted snake or the distinguished snake, and that would be Virgo. So Virgo is a beast, but like that unicorn stuff, the unicorn stories, usually unicorns aren't such nice creatures, right? We think of these cute little horses with twisted horns or something, and it's like that's not what they are in most stories. And it happens to be there's a unicorn in some strength cards in the tarot. And then Ushumgalo, the great dragon. Well, you can say, you know, because Leo does kind of look like some pointy beast or something like that if you read Rod a little bit. And Bashmu would be Cancer, and Bashmu nowadays relates to the myths, floods and stuff like this, so it puts that position. But Gemini would be the unskilled laborer, and again, this would relate to some actual floods. So it was a very tumultuous period, and some of the myths being represented that way. And to go through the things here, we have we of Chmush will not dismay. So that is the harnessed, the besieged, the armed. Oh wait, no. I put that wrong. So the harness, the fifth, and we have Hamas will shine in a different way, and that word renders as the besieged, the afflicted due to external force, the refusing, the resistance. There is the becoming of chamus and being gray, and that word is, yeah, the shook, the wrong, the violent, the damaged. So brutalized. So if you put a negative thing that these people are brutal, you know, it's referring to a brutalized individual, means that if they did something wrong, someone else is to blame too. And so those three words particularly relate over there. In a sort of Thomas Hobbes sense, we have the we Aten, and that would be you know, Lotan, Leviathan, and that's like sort of the rising from beneath the people, and Bahmut is that coming down. And I can change real quick. I have the pentagram. I'm not sure how much of it's going to show up on the screen, but you've seen it before. We have the okay. You know what I mean? We have the so we have the crook, we have the, you know, the shepherd's staff, we have the peg, we have the arm, we have the ox head, we have the mark, and we have the seed sprouting. And okay, behemoth. And behemoth would be, you have the house, you have the person shouting for joy, we have the water, we have the peg, and we have the mark again. And plush, so moot is, so bah is like a box, moot is like a death, Louis Aten is twisted, coiled, but Tun is the female, Tun is like this the sea beast.
Here's another version, just for laughs.
The okay, yeah, because I'm trying to think of but yeah, so the wanderers of Hun, it's so some people are going to take this to a political angle, and it's fine. Everything can be applied, whatever. But I'm making this as beyond that. And you notice it's about the spiritual war more than the other sort of war. And yeah, there's that. So and you read a book that had some of this. So what do you think about those children of Tiamat and all that, other than the fact that they're zodiacal?
Well, kind of like the what do you call it? The 12 days of Christmas and the mention of the 12 children and 13 different lions, maybe. Could there possibly be a certain existence of naturals, ones that are natural, but yet they're of a certain, I don't know how to say it, but you see what I'm trying to say?
No, I but as you can see from the circle, so the people are put in the center there. And so if one is to put this all on a clay tablet, we should probably have Pashtunn in the Aramaic, pre-Jewish characters as the one. We should probably have particularly more towards the north, Behemoth, towards the west, Leviathan, and then throughout the rest of the outside of the circle, we would have the words Chmush, Chimsh, and Hamas as the words of power per se. I am not going over this one smoothly, so I'm going to
it's hard for me to sometimes find the words.
I wrote this kind of crooked as a case. There is, for the conditions, yeah, I think I wrote on different sides. There is the becoming of and being gray. For the conditions at hand and of the past, acts no other than theirs by day. Okay, yeah, that fits. So I just messed up my order a little bit. And you notice that some of these symbols, they're not just drawing the typical phonetics, like here's the sound. Some of these are contracted. You know what I mean? They put multiple letter combinations together in sort of an arrangement. And you find